So only a couple days ago, I gave you a breakdown of everything we knew about Ashlands, all of the concept art that had been revealed and teased, all the gameplay clips and the progress that's been made, as well as obviously all the stuff gameplay wise from the walk and talks the VALHEIM devs have been doing. And of course, since then, they've been teasing even more. I'm convinced that Ashlands is going to pop up very soon. There's no way these guys are teasing this if it isn't about to launch. So when could it launch? Well, if you take a look at any of the profiles of the VALHEIM devs, they're off to GDC, the gaming conference in the San Francisco. Lots of game developers go. And I do believe Mr. Smarsbar here is absolutely giving a big talk. So we're going to cover all them details and the latest teasers that are going on with vines being able to be growable on your structures, and maybe some of the patches that have gone through the PtB recently that should be probably going live with the next update, which I am definitely predicting is going to be something very close to the Ashlands. So leave a like, find it useful, let's go. So GDC, yep, Jonathan Smars and some of the other VALHEIM devs are going. I knew this anyway because they've told me literally themselves for a while. And looks like they're going to be talking about Valheim, Viking roadmaps and buying a horse during early access. Yeah, suck that, Firespark and all them other dickheads complaining and crying about them buying a horse. It's a long running joke. They literally gave a tiny bit of money to a local horse centre, you know, to help out with good community reach, and a bunch of imbeciles twisted and turned that as if that was all they were doing with the money instead of updating the game. And this was only about 6 months after the game's release. So if you're still coming up with that meme, suck your mum. So I'm glad that the VALHEIM devs can see the humour in it and maybe talking about it and the lessons they've learned in early access. It is still incredible. Yes, we've had Power World recently become the latest phenomena, but Valheim to me was the biggest one in years. 10 million copies sold in 6 months, absolute huge runaway success, and it's been pretty successful on Xbox. Now they've got that platform a bit more stable. Jonathan's going to be talking about his insight into the Valheim development journey so far through a patch by patch breakdown and managing player expectations spanning multiple years of development during early access and lessons learned along the way, both internal and external challenges that have emerged. Oh, and they bought a horse. He'll also cover by how they hope to leave early access in the best possible way so that Valheim can be remembered as an example of early access done right and be a game that can be played for many years to come. So fingers crossed this may actually appear on a website afterwards. Sometimes it's only the real big ones that are on the main floor, so I'm not too sure if this is going to be part of it. But of course, if it does get revealed anywhere on YouTube, then I will give a breakdown of everything that was said. Or maybe catch up with the boys when they get back for another Valheim versus whatever game we choose to play. And Jonathan has been teasing, yep, if you saw this recently, a new picture literally came out the day after my everything we know about Ashlands video. You will be able to grow vines. Now, is it only the red vines? Are these new? Is it because it's in this biome or environment that they're red? Will they be green in a different environment? Maybe darker green or murky yellow if they're in the swamp? I'm very intrigued by this. And here's the first reel of a very, very kind of basic house, but don't forget they've got over 50 brand new build pieces coming to the Valheim Ashlands update or as part of it. So lots of build stuff going on. I think that's more than definitely what we had in the Mistlands for sure. And yeah, growable vines make your houses feel a little bit more lived in. And to be honest, I wasn't going to cover the PtB patch until it went live for everyone. But sometimes these do take weeks, and it does look like there's a few fixes in there. I also think that sometimes some of these bug fixes aren't really sexy enough to do a whole video on, but here we go. If you want to take part in the PtB, you can do. You just got to choose it from the drop down box in properties, and you should be able to play the insider version of this on Xbox as well. So it looks like with obviously the Ashlands come in, they may have been making changes to help with locations and dungeons loading in to improve performance. Obviously, new landscape, new items. We know there's going to be these citadels spawning, maybe world events like meteor showers, and of course all the lava sloshing around. So things looking likely to be improved. No visual changes as yet though. I did have a little run around yesterday and I couldn't see anything different from how the Ashlands looks currently. Alongside that, they've got a big Unity engine upgrade and a ton of bug fixes. Now, as always with these updates, you don't have to restart a world, but if you've explored every part of the world, you may have to. Usually, as long as there's corners or portions of that world, then you don't have to panic. You will be able to go and experience the new content in the Ashlands unless you've somehow gone and explored every inch of it. Now, again, some of these fixes, they are just boring, and I'm not going to waste your time reading stuff that you don't really care about. But a couple key ones. You can now use a hammer to take away beds using the hammer when you find them naturally spawning in villages or houses. There was a bug where Gearfar and Brenner would respawn after a game restart. That's been fixed. You can now have turnip stacking correctly to match other vegetables. Lots of low disk space wall improvements. You'll be able to now find friends on Xbox or the Microsoft Store via Friends tab in server browser. The Elder will no longer spawn on his altar. Lots of fixes around FPS drops when you've got a lot of map markers. Cloud saves, more issues have been fixed with the Microsoft Store. And dealing knockback to an enemy in a slope no longer affects the player dealing the knockback. The gamepad and mouse both now behave in the same way. So when do I think Ashlands is going to drop? Well, they're doing this talk on Tuesday, March 19th. I do believe that's the day they launched the last update as well. I think it's not too crazy to say it could come next week. Obviously lots of activity on the public test branch at the moment, but all the other branches have activity as well when you check SteamDB. The VALHEIM team have obviously opted to show a lot more this time compared to what they did with Mistlands, where it was completely surprise. And as I said, I think that's been the best option to highlight and show people that are dumb enough to believe all their money went on a horse that they are still updating the game. And just the amount of stuff that's been going on with these walk and talks that have been extremely regular and lots more teases that have been going on, I'll be very surprised if it doesn't launch either next week or at some point in April. Originally the window for it was the first half of the year, so they have got all the way up till June. I don't want to put pressure on them, but that's just my 2 pence. Valheim's also on sale, and I think it's gone on sale on Xbox as well for 50% off recently. So what better way to now get a whole bunch of new people that might not have played it already really excited with an update following soon after. And yeah, it'd be really cool if they do this talk and then we get the update launching at the same day. That would be pretty interesting. But I reckon it could be a few days after, by the time they get back maybe to Sweden. And of course I'll be back in a massive way once Valheim's here. I've been focusing more and more on just one game at a time whenever possible. It's been Nightingale for the most part, other than a few news videos. And I've been really enjoying it, and I'm going to carry on making content and streaming it. But once Valheim is here, I will be going big on it. Trying to catch up from where we left my character last time. Just about to defeat, I think, the Queen in the Mistlands. Maybe with some more ratbags as well. So I'll be all prepped, ready to go when the update hits, showing you everything new. So until next time, ratbags, laters.